Good morning, everyone. As we start a new week across Europe, all eyes are on the skies, with a complex and potentially hazardous weather pattern unfolding across the continent. Europe faces a dynamic and unsettled weather pattern this week, with multiple storm systems converging and threatening widespread impacts from the Mediterranean all the way to the northern reaches of the continent. There are two main concerns dominating the forecast, and both have the potential to disrupt daily life and travel plans for millions. First, powerful Mediterranean storms are targeting Italy and the Balkans, bringing the risk of torrential rain, strong winds, and even the possibility of localized flooding and landslides in vulnerable areas. Second, a developing Atlantic system is gathering strength and could make its way toward Western Europe, potentially impacting countries like Spain, Portugal, Ireland, and the UK, with heavy rain and gusty winds as we approach the weekend. Warm Mediterranean waters are fueling these storms, increasing their intensity and raising the risk of flash flooding, severe thunderstorms, and even coastal disruptions along the southern shores. The Atlantic system, meanwhile, could bring a spell of wet and windy weather to the Iberian Peninsula and the British Isles, with the potential for travel delays, power outages, and hazardous driving conditions by the weekend. Northern and Western Europe will see a shift to colder, more unsettled weather, with temperatures dropping and the chance for snow increasing, especially in higher elevations and mountainous regions. Some cities may even see their first flakes of the season. It's a classic late autumn setup, but this year, the added intensity from these systems means that the weather could be more severe and unpredictable than usual, with rapid changes from sunshine to storms. Stay alert to local forecasts, keep an eye on weather warnings, and be prepared for rapidly changing conditions. If you live in or are traveling through affected areas, make sure to have an emergency plan and supplies ready. Let's break down the threats region by region and day by day, so you can stay informed and safe as this active weather pattern unfolds across Europe. Our focus shifts to the Mediterranean, where the first of two storms is gathering strength. Heavy rain is building over the central Mediterranean, targeting Italy's east coast and the Adriatic nations, Bosnia, Albania, and Montenegro. This broad low-pressure system, fueled by warm seawater, will bring persistent rain and flood risk, especially mid-week. The heaviest impacts are expected Wednesday, as the core moves east, affecting Montenegro, Albania, and Greece. Rain will also reach parts of France and Spain, with snow possible in the Pyrenees and Alps. Flooding is the main threat for coastal and low-lying areas, while higher elevations could see heavy wet snow. Residents in these regions should prepare now for flooding and monitor local warnings. This slow-moving system means rain will linger, increasing the risk. Let's get specific about rainfall from this Mediterranean storm. Totals are alarming. Montenegro and northern Albania could see over 150 millimeters, with some spots nearing 200 millimeters by Wednesday. This much rain means a real risk of flash flooding, river flooding, and landslides, especially in mountainous areas. Roads, infrastructure, and homes in low-lying zones are at risk. Eastern and southern Italy will also see heavy rain and localized flooding. The Alps and Pyrenees will get significant wet snow, possibly causing power outages. Key days for vigilance today and especially Wednesday. Have evacuation plans and emergency kits ready if you're in high-risk zones. Never attempt to cross floodwaters. Stay safe and alert. As the first storm exits, a second, stronger Mediterranean system is forming. This new storm draws energy from France and Spain, then intensifies over unusually warm Mediterranean waters. Rapid cyclogenesis is likely Friday into Saturday, with a compact, intense low-pressure center near Italy. Expect severe thunderstorms, torrential rain, damaging winds, and a risk of waterspouts or even tornadoes along the coast. The highest risk is this weekend, especially Saturday, as the storm tracks across Italy and into the Balkans. Areas hit mid-week could face a second round of flooding and severe weather. The combination of saturated ground and new rainfall raises the danger. Prepare for a weekend of high-impact weather in the central and eastern Mediterranean. Stay tuned for updates as the storm rapidly develops. This weekend, all eyes are on the second Mediterranean storm. Saturday brings a powerful low over Italy, with severe thunderstorms, flash flooding, and possible hail in the south. Coastal areas face the highest risk of waterspouts and isolated tornadoes. Northern Italy and the Alps will see heavy snow, creating travel chaos but boosting ski resorts. The storm moves east into the Balkans late Saturday and Sunday, hitting already saturated regions with more torrential rain. Flooding risk is extreme for Albania, Montenegro, and neighboring countries. Greece, Croatia, and Bosnia will also see heavy rain and, in the north, significant snow. The weekend will be disruptive and dangerous across the central and eastern Mediterranean. Remain on high alert and follow local advisories. Meanwhile, a powerful storm system is brewing over the Atlantic Ocean, and meteorologists are closely monitoring its development. This storm, still gathering strength far from land, could have significant impacts on Western Europe as we approach the end of the week. The system's size and intensity are already raising concerns among weather experts, who warn that it could bring disruptive conditions to millions of people. While the exact path remains uncertain, current forecasts suggest that the storm may unleash major wind and rain across a broad swath of Western Europe. Portugal, Spain, Ireland, and the UK are all in the potential impact zone. Residents in these countries should be prepared for the possibility of severe weather, including heavy downpours, strong gusts, and dangerous coastal conditions. A blocking high-pressure system in the eastern Atlantic is expected to play a key role in steering the storm's movement. However, computer models are still showing a range of possible tracks, making it difficult to pinpoint exactly where the worst impacts will be felt. Meteorologists are analyzing new data around the clock to refine the forecast. If the storm takes a more southern route, the Iberian Peninsula could be in the bullseye. In this scenario, Spain and Portugal would likely see heavy rain, strong winds, and the risk of flash flooding by Sunday or Monday. Urban areas and low-lying regions should be especially vigilant for rapidly changing conditions. Alternatively, if the storm tracks further north, Ireland and the UK could experience a classic autumn windstorm. This would mean widespread gale-force winds, possible power outages, and flooding in vulnerable areas. Coastal communities should be on alert for high waves and dangerous surf. As the storm continues to organize over the open Atlantic, rapid intensification is likely. Warm ocean waters and favorable atmospheric conditions could help the system strengthen quickly, increasing the threat of severe weather once it nears land. With so much uncertainty, all regions from Portugal to the UK should take this threat seriously and begin preparing now. Securing outdoor items, clearing drains, and reviewing emergency plans can make a big difference if the storm hits hard. It's important to review your storm plans, check emergency supplies, and stay updated as the forecast evolves. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts and keep in touch with family and neighbors. The next 48 hours will be critical in determining the storm's path and intensity. Be ready for quick changes as new information could mean shifting risks for different regions. Stay tuned for critical updates and official guidance as this potentially dangerous storm approaches Western Europe. Northern Europe faces a persistent pattern of rain and cold this week. A midweek system brings showery rain and blustery winds to Belgium, the Netherlands, northern France, Wales, and England. Colder air will follow, with a chill and even wet snow possible on higher ground. Another stronger system arrives late Friday, targeting Ireland and the UK with heavier rain and gusty winds. Rain spreads east through Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and the Baltic states, with some areas seeing up to 50 millimeters. The ground will stay saturated and skies mostly gray. While not as severe as the Mediterranean storms, this is a prolonged period of disruptive, gloomy weather. Prepare for travel delays and wet conditions across the north. Snow is taking center stage across Europe's mountain regions this week, with a dramatic shift in weather patterns bringing winter's full force to the continent's highest peaks and valleys. Two powerful Mediterranean storms are sweeping in, drawing up cold Arctic air and combining it with abundant moisture from the south. This potent mix is set to unleash widespread, heavy snowfall across the Alps, the Pyrenees, and the Balkans, blanketing these ranges in deep, fresh powder and transforming the landscape almost overnight. The first of these storms is already making its mark, delivering significant accumulations to the Dinaric Alps and the higher terrain of the Balkans. Mountain passes are quickly becoming hazardous, with snow piling up on winding roads and visibility dropping as the storm intensifies. For local communities and travelers, this means increased risks and the need for extra caution. Hot on its heels, the second storm is forecast to be even more intense, targeting the Apennines and the Italian Alps. Here, snow totals could be measured in feet at the highest elevations, with deep drifts forming along ridges and in sheltered valleys. This will create a true winter wonderland, but also bring new challenges for anyone venturing into the mountains. With so much fresh snow falling in a short period, avalanche danger will rise sharply, especially on steep slopes and in backcountry areas. However, ski resorts across the region are welcoming the early season bounty, as the deepening snow base promises excellent conditions for winter sports enthusiasts and a strong start to the ski season. Meanwhile, Norway's mountains and Iceland are already blanketed in snow, setting the stage for a long winter ahead. Even the UK and France could see snow showers dusting their highest hills and uplands, a rare treat for these regions, and a sign of just how widespread this wintry outbreak is. For anyone traveling through Europe's mountainous areas, winter is arriving fast and with little warning. Road closures are possible, and conditions can change rapidly, turning a routine drive into a challenging journey. Preparation is key. Travelers should check forecasts, pack emergency supplies, and be ready for full winter conditions at a moment's notice. Snow chains and careful driving are essential for anyone crossing these ranges. Whether you're a local resident, a winter sports enthusiast, or just passing through, respect the power of the mountains and the weather. This week, Europe's peaks are truly at the mercy of winter. In summary, Europe faces a week of severe and varied weather threats. The Mediterranean is at highest risk, with 2 storms bringing dangerous flooding and severe weather to Italy and the Balkans. Western Europe should prepare for a potentially major Atlantic storm by late weekend. Northern Europe will see persistent rain and a shift to colder, wintry conditions. Mountain regions face heavy snow and hazardous travel. Stay informed, monitor local forecasts, and be ready to act on warnings. Preparation is key. Secure your property, check supplies, and have a plan. We'll keep you updated. Stay safe, everyone.